Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston International Space Station, ready for the event.
Canada Aviation and Space Museum, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for voice check.
Chris Hadfield, Space Station, this is Canada Air and Space Museum. How do you copy?
Canada Aviation and Space Museum, David, the space station reads you loud and clear. How me?
We have you loud and clear. Can everybody hear him? Chris, I have someone here who would like to introduce our special guest for you.
Commander, welcome to Ottawa. Boys and girls, please help me welcome Mrs. Laureen Harper and her husband, the 22nd Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper. We're going to be ready in a moment. You all excited to be here, kids? Can the space station hear a big cheer from all of you? Big cheer, come on, hooray. Have we got the commander ready to go? Can you hear me, Commander?
Absolutely. I hear you loud and clear. I hope you can hear me as well also. Thank you.
And I can see you. It's a great picture. It's great to hear you. En commençant, je voudrais dire que c'est un moment historique. Je tiens à vous féliciter d'être le premier Canadien de commander la Station spatiale internationale. Commander, I just want to congratulate you on this historic achievement. You're the first Canadian ever to command the International Space Station. We're all very proud of you here.
Merci, monsieur. Thank you very much. After, 35 years of service to my country and to my government, I am so incredibly proud to have the chance to do this now. I get to go from Vancouver Island and see the Arctic and see the Maritimes in 10 minutes, coast to coast. And it just fills me with pride. And also, as a result of technology, I get to link with Canadians coast to coast of all ages. And I ask every Canadian, from the machine shops that help build this place, to the software labs, to the inventors and the creative minds that made all this possible, when they look up and see the point of light that is the International Space Station, all Canadians should take pride in what we can do together.
Well, it must be a tremendous experience. I know as I fly across the country, I'm always amazed how big it is, how empty most of it is, but for you to be able to see it in 10 minutes is just is really an incredible experience we can only dream about. Now, Commander, I have a few questions myself, but we have a lot of kids here who want to ask questions. So I'm going to go straight to them first because I know we don't have a lot of time today. We have a very brief hookup. So let me begin with Emerson Bartell, Children's Wish Foundation, is going to ask a question.
Is there anything that you fear in space or something that makes you uncomfortable?
Emerson, I'm afraid when I don't have a plan, when I can't get ready for something. You know, there are always things happening, and some of them are scary if you're not ready. So what I always try and do is no matter what's happening, whether it's something simple or something dangerous, I prepare for it. I think about it. I visualize what I can do and therefore what I'm going to do. And then no matter what it is, that I'm facing, it makes me feel better about it, and it stops me being afraid of it. And that's whether I'm piloting a spaceship or commanding the space station or speaking with the Prime Minister of Canada or talking with you, Emerson. I just try and get ready, and then I'm not afraid.
It's Lorraine Harper here. I would like to introduce Robbie Passmore-Waugh of the Children's Wish Foundation to ask the commander a question. Come on up, Robbie.
What do you do when you get sick in space?
Thank you, Robbie. We try not to get sick, of course. You can't catch a cold up here because there's no one to catch a cold from. But everybody on board is trained as an emergency medical technician. So I can do all basic medicine. I've worked in a hospital in the emergency room, taking care of people as they come in with all different injuries. So I really understand the basics that I need to know. Right here under my feet is our emergency medical kit and pharmacy. Behind me is like a stretcher that if someone got sick, we could strap them to that stretcher. And then we also on board with our crew, we have Dr. Tom Marshburn, a medical doctor. And so Dr. Tom could take care of each of us. But if Tom got sick, then I'd be taking care of Tom. So we're ready for it. We try not to get sick. We're careful. But if we need to, we're ready to take care of each other medically.
Good job, Robbie. Prochaine question.
The next question
Présentée par Marie de Grandpré.
will be asked by Marie from Grand Pré.
De la part de Elizabeth de l'École
She's going to ask a question on behalf of Elizabeth from Centennial Public School in Kitchener. Why is it so important for Canada to be a partner in the International Space Station?
C'est une bonne question.
It's a good question.
Pour quelques buts différents.
It is very important for many reasons. First, it's a unique laboratory.
La pesanteur. Et donc, nous avons la chance.
In matter of gravity.
Avec cette,
So we're fortunate
international
with this international structure
qui sont impossibles.
to do all kind of experiments that are not normally possible.
Mais aussi, je pense que c'était
But also, I think it's important
inspiration pour les jeunes Canadiens.
for us, with respect to aspiration, for the young Canadian,
De la possibilité.
to do something that is on the border of the realm of possibility. And it is necessary to dream.
Opportunité comme ça.
And for young Canadians to have an opportunity like this, to have such a laboratory like this. And that's the second thing that is important for Canadians and the Canadian people in general.
I would like to introduce Darcy McCrae, Children's Wish, to ask Commander Hadfield a question on behalf of Henry, who's 12, from Wellington Hall Academy in Guelph, Ontario.
Good afternoon, Commander Hatfield. Here's a question. Does Canada look like you would expect it to from space? Does it look just like it does on a map, or is there anything that is really unique or stands out from space?
Thank you for the question. When you're going this fast and seeing so much of it, when I'm overhead of Winnipeg, I can still look back and see I can see the Rockies, and I can see all the way to Ottawa, basically. And to be able to see the country that way as we race across, what is different than I expected was the size of it. We live in an enormous, very rich land, so much opportunity and capability for each of us. But then as you come across, especially at night, each of the places where we gather together, the cities and the towns, even the farms, they show up as little places of warmth, of little pockets of light. And as I travel across the prairies and then come around the bigger cities, of course, the provincial capitals, and all around Lake Ontario and Ottawa and Montreal, you can see the level of activity. It just strikes you, the huge, vast capability, the raw capability of our country, and then the way that we're using it. And then when you come, the last place I see in Canada always is the Maritimes, coming across Cape Breton and Newfoundland, and that solid, rugged rock that is our East Coast. It's a great way every time to wave farewell to Canada till we come around the world again. It just warms my heart. every time to see the potential of our country and to see the way that we live there together.
Merci. On aura maintenant une
Thank you.
question de Thomas.
We're going to have a question now from Thomas.
Va poser une question.
Thomas is going to ask a question on behalf of twins Evan and Alexa from Dundas Central Public School in Dundas, Ontario.
J'ai deux questions. Quel pays
I have
est le
two
plus
questions.
coloré vu de l'espace?
Which country is the most colored looking from space?
Propre lit.
And do you miss your own bed?
Oui, c'est deux questions.
Yes, there's two questions.
C'est les Bahamas, les îles Bahamas.
For me, it's the Bahamas Islands that are the most colored.
Récif Corée.
Because of the barrier reef, the colors are unbelievable.
Tous les bleus qui existent.
All the different shades of blue.
Comme un arc du ciel.
It's like a rainbow under the water. And every time it strikes my eye, it's incredible. It's shining. As for the second question, sleeping here in space,
Vous n'avez pas besoin d'un lit.
you don't need a bed, really. You don't need a pillow. It's so comfortable.
Totalement relaxé.
You know, it's possible to be totally relaxed. Every single muscle is totally relaxed.
Être dans la chambre à coucher.
So for me, it's even better than to be in my bedroom and be in my bed on Earth.
Merveilleux pour dormir.
So this is a marvelous place to sleep in space.
Scandia to ask Commander Hadfield a question on behalf of the Grade 3 class of South Poplar Elementary, Abbotsford, British Columbia.
Hello, Commander Hadfield. Hello, Commander Hadfield. Here's my question. What advice do you have for the aspiring astronauts in our class and across the country?
Okay, three things. Number one is education. And I don't just mean reading it, what you're told in school. Education is learning things. Education is desiring to know things, to know new things every single day, to always try and understand what's going around you. Constantly educate yourself. Number two is take care of your body. You only get one. Don't, think about what you're eating when you eat. You choose everything that you eat. And exercise your body. Take the stairs, carry things, don't drag things. Exercise your body. It doesn't take much, just keep yourself in shape. And then the third is make decisions. Choose things. And at first you may not make all good decisions, but decision making is a skill, and you can learn it and get better at it. And the more decisions you make, the better you will be at making them. And with those three things, education, a healthy body, and the ability to make good decisions, you will succeed no matter what you do in life, including maybe you have a chance to fly in space.
That does sound like good advice for a lot of things. Maintenant, Commandant, je vous présente.
Now, Commander, I would like to present you Alexander Brown.
De la part de Ezra.
He's going to ask a question on behalf of Ezra, a 5-year-old boy from the Elizabeth Ziegler School in Waterloo, Ontario.
Pouvez-vous voir la planète tourner?
Can you see the planet turn, go around itself?
Pas directement pour voir la planète.
Not directly, to be able to see the Earth turn. It only turns twice a day on a 24 period. So every 90 minutes we're in an orbit. So as far as the Earth turning, so every time we look at the Earth again, there's just maybe a country or part of the Earth that has moved a little bit. So not directly, but indirectly, yes. It's possible to see the Earth go around itself from the space station.
I would like to introduce Alexa Hellier to ask Commander Hadfield a question on behalf of Colin, Grade 6, Scott Bateman Middle School.
Hi, Commander Hadfield. Is there turbulence in space, and can you feel it like in an airplane?
There is no turbulence up here at all. It is smoother than silk. It's like if you've ever been skating on perfect new ice just after the Zamboni goes and everything, you just slide across the ice and you don't feel even a ripple. Or maybe down a perfect slide, nice and wet, where everything's just beautifully smooth. It's like that. There's never a bump. You can float and fly, and it's sort of like magic. But no, it's perfectly comfortable. You should try it. It's great.
I'd like to introduce Commander Matthew Broughton. Matthew is bringing us a question on behalf of a Twitter account, SteffiPoo446. I'm going to assume that's not a real name. She is in Centennial Public School, also in Waterloo, Ontario. Matthew.
Is it possible to land on Mars in the near future?
Steffi and Matthew, yes. In fact, of course, I'm sure as you know, Canada is already on Mars. We have scientific experiments, scientific hardware that was built by Canadians, smart, educated engineers and scientists that is helping us to understand Mars right now. Because you can't understand the human body by looking at just one person. You can't understand planets just by looking at one. By understanding the history of Mars and the history of the Earth and the others, we can really start to get a feel for what's in store for Earth itself. But I think probably your question is, could people go to Mars? And yes, things we've learned on the space station, how to stay in space for months and months, how to build things, what equipment to build it out of, yes. But right now, it's sort of like sailing around the world hundreds of years ago or flying across the Atlantic 100 years ago. It's just barely possible, but it would be very risky and so therefore quite expensive. And I think what we need to do is invent some more things. We need Canadians like you to come up with great inventions like the Canadarm or like microflow, which is a great Canadian experiment that I'm working on. It just came up last week. We need inventions that will make travel to Mars safer and faster, energy sources and engines. So yes, we could do it if we had to, and I'm sure we'll do it in the future. It's just a matter of things that we can invent. We're limited just by our own imagination and creativity.
I would like to introduce Ava Gandia to ask Commander Hadfield a question on behalf of Jacqueline from York House School, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Hello, Commander Hadfield. My first question is, what has been the most interesting part of being an astronaut and going to space? And have you had any interesting experiences that you will never forget?
I think I could answer both those questions with the same answer, actually. And being inside a spaceship is wonderful, magnificent. Being weightless, doing all of this experiments, being here with a great group of people, wonderful, motivated, humble people. But the most magnificent experience was going outside, putting on the big white spacesuit and walking in space. And the reason is, not only was I out there building Canadarm2 and bolting it together and bringing Canada's robot arm to life, but I was alone with these two hands and these two eyes in between the world on one side, turning in all of its colors, and the universe on the other, in all of its absolutely fundamental blackness and the rest of everything. And I was there holding on to this vehicle, this space station, with one hand, one of the first humans to ever be able to see our world that way and to get a sense of the perspective myself. It'll be with me always. It is a magnificent experience to see the world and to see the universe that way. I was the first Canadian to ever do it, but I'm not the last. I hope more Canadians, including you, get a chance to see the world that way. It changes how you think.
Thank you, Commander. That was our last student question, and I see your colleagues, David Saint-Jacques and Jeremy Hansen, have appeared, which means we're about due to wrap this up. So I know we all want to thank you for spending time with us. Vous avez l'esprit des pionniers qui
You have a pioneer spirit. You have a spirit of enterprise. It's a new era, and it's a great exploration in your life, and we're very proud of you. And we congratulate you on your success, and we wish you great fortune.
I just want to say that you represent the kind of spirit we had in the explorers who went out and found our country and built our country, and you're carrying that into a modern age. We're all very proud of you. We wish you good luck and success. We have all these kids who've done such a great job asking the questions, other children who are with them. We have your parents here, so let's all together give Commander Hadfield one more big cheer.